Hi students, I am Dr. Sangeetha from Department of Life Sciences, Indian Academy Degree College, Autonomous. Today, let us learn about biodiversity conservation. Biodiversity conservation simply means the protection and preservation of the biodiversity, the plants, animals, and the environment around us. So this refers to protection, preservation and management of ecosystem and natural habitats and ensure that they remain healthy and functional. Now there are two methods of conservation of biodiversity. The first method is called as in-situ conservation and the second method is called as ex-situ conservation. Let us see what is meant by in-situ conservation. Now, in-situ conservation refers to preservation of a species in its natural habitat, the place where it lives. So, management of biodiversity in the same area where it is found is called as in-situ conservation. For example, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, the biodiversity hotspots, biosphere reserves, gene sanctuary and sacred groves all come under in-situ conservation. So you are going to preserve and protect and manage the species in their natural habitat. In-situ conservation has many advantages, as I said before, that can preserve species in its own natural habitat. So the species need not get adjusted to a new environment or a new habitat. This ensures protection to a large number of populations and it is a convenient and economic method of conservation. So these are some of the advantages of in-situ conservation. Now, what are these different methods? One is biosphere reserves. Biosphere reserves are national government nominated sites. They are very large areas of ecosystem. Traditional lifestyle and natural habitat of inhabitants are protected and these reserves are open to tourists and also researchers. So, one example of a biosphere reserve is Sundarbans. The second method is maintaining national parks. National parks are limited reserves which are maintained by the government for protection of wildlife which includes plants and animals. So here in national parks, human activities are prohibited and they are dedicated to the protection of natural fauna and flora. So in India, there are almost 104 national parks right now. And national parks can be within a biosphere reserve because biosphere reserve are larger in area. National parks are little smaller when compared with biosphere reserve. Now, the boundaries of national parks are well protected. Human activities like grazing, cultivation, all are restricted. A few examples of national park is Gir National Park, Kaziranga National Park, Kanha National Park. Wildlife sanctuaries. Maintaining wildlife sanctuaries are another method of biodiversity conservation. So this is meant for the conservation of wild animals. A few human activities like cultivation, wood collection, forest product collection, these are allowed here, but they should not interfere with the conservation of animals. Tourists are also allowed in these areas. So in India, there are almost 551 wildlife sanctuaries where only wild animals can be found. Only certain human activities are entertained like cultivation, timber harvesting, etc. and they shouldn't interfere with the conservation project. For example, wildlife sanctuaries like Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary, Ghana Bird Sanctuary, all these are wildlife sanctuaries. Biodiversity hotspots are areas of conservation where most of the habitat that has lost its 70% cover. They are protected areas for various purposes where the wildlife, domesticated plants, animals are all conserved. Here, tourist and research activities are allowed. Gene sanctuary is another method of in-situ conservation where it is a conservation area reserved only for plants. So India has one gene sanctuary in Meghalaya, the Garo Hills of Meghalaya, for the conservation of the wild species of citrus. And we have plans to open more sanctuaries like this. Other method of in-situ conservation is maintaining sacred groves. So as the name tells, sacred groves are conserved areas for wildlife. They are protected by communities due to their religious beliefs. Coming to ex-situ conservation, so we have seen different conservation methods under in-situ conservation. Ex-situ conservation is conservation of life outside their natural habitat or place of occurrence where they live. So it's a method in which part of a population or the entire species is taken from its natural habitat and they are maintained in artificial ecosystems. So artificial ecosystems include zoological gardens or the zoos, nurseries, botanical gardens, etc. Now, what are the advantages of ex-situ conservation? Ex-situ conservation, you are going to conserve them under artificial systems. So, it is under human control. Essential life-sustaining conditions like food availability, veterinary care, climate, all these can be altered. Artificial breeding methods can be introduced, leading to successful breeding, and you can create more offspring of the species. And one more advantage is all the animals can be protected from poaching and population management can be efficiently done. The other advantage is gene techniques can be applied to increase the population of the species and they can again be reintroduced into the wild. Thank you so much.